this right here. And see if we can line up the camera a little bit so that it's seeing me. Okay, so now let's fix up the description and the thumbnail. Where are we here? And see if we hear ourselves. There we are, we're live. Edit video. Let's see. Let's see if we can hear ourselves. Where's live? It's warm here today. There we are. Now let's see if we can hear ourselves. Hello, hello. And turn that up. There we are. That's perfect. Okay. Let's turn this down so that we don't have an echo. Okay. Ugh, it's too hot for this hat. Let's take that off for now. Oh, it's warm. And let's, I don't know if I can see this here, but let's change the live. Why is it doing that? In the heat on the boat. Okay. And let's change the thumbnail. Change. And where did I see this one? Let's try that. That's nice. Let's save that. And let's go back to the video. Somehow maybe I lost myself here. Oh, we got ducks today. That's nice. Okay. So let's leave that. Lena, Haney, Martina, Rick, nice to see you. Welcome aboard. It's a hot day. Yeah, well, Aussie Chick, sorry, Nightbot is giving you a hard time again, isn't he? That Nightbot, we just can't get good help. So let's just see if I can watch this on my phone at the same time and see if I can use that to monitor what we're doing here. And yeah, I like the live. I'd really appreciate that. It makes our good friends at YouTube happy when you do that. So we're sitting out here on the boat, and we're warm. It's 29 Celsius, so that's 54 plus 32. That's 90. It's not super hot, but it's definitely definitely warm. Okay, so how come this isn't working on the phone? Okay, the phone woke up, so we're in good shape. So the only problem is I can't really see the chat in the remaining sunlight. And let's just move this camera over here. Don't want it to fall off. and say, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Oh, it's Rick. I'm sorry, Rick, that the Nightbot was upset with you. Hey, Cucumber, thank you for coming aboard this live. We're sitting here. What's the expression? Sitting on the dock of the bay. Sitting at the dock in the bay. I don't know, something like that. And there's a bit of a breeze. I'm using my remote microphone so I don't get too much of the wind on the mic. The bikini crowd is coming, so it's still a lot of evening left. Let me just have a sip of water. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to talk today with the warmth. It'll cool off after a while. Caesar Mocha, thank you for coming aboard. I haven't seen you in a long time. That's not true. I haven't seen you in as long as it takes for this this set of lives to go by. I did come by your channel and looked around. So let me see what yeah, it's hard to see. It's kind of bright, and the computer is not that bright. Maybe I can make it brighter. Maybe I can make it brighter. Where's the brightness button here? FN bright, bright, bright. No, that's as bright as it goes. So the sun's going to be down it's going to be down in an hour. So it'll be a little bit yet before we're there. Let me just pop up a command that you can use to drop a link. Type show link, one word, to drop link and get people to network with you. It's an amazing thing, YouTube networking. Where's pin the message? How come I can't see pin message? There we are. Okay, so that's been pinned. We've got that going. We've got that going. We've got Liliengo. Thank you for coming by. I do appreciate every visit. People are heading out. We went sailing yesterday, first time this year. It was I had a bunch of stuff to do to work on the boat and get her ready. So it did take a few things to get organized, and but the wind was perfect, 7 knots, 8 knots from the southwest, which in this area is is perfect for the angle that these docks are at, and so we're at the east end of downtown Toronto. Yeah, it's still downtown Toronto. It's 15 minutes driving. Probably if you walked, I can't walk that fast anymore, but if you are a younger person and you walked, it would probably take half an hour to walk to downtown from here. It's about 8 kilometers, 10 kilometers, maybe a little bit more than half an hour. And it's Brave Buddy LV, thank you for coming by. I don't think I had a chance to come by and listen to you. That's not true. I did come by earlier in the week. But thank you for coming aboard and joining me on the boat for a bit. It's very hot. I don't know if you can see the sweat pouring on my face. I was gonna wash the boat because there's birds sitting on the lifelines, and of course when birds sit on things, they leave their signatures, shall we say. They crap all over the place. But I don't have the long hose here, so I have to remember next time bring the long hose. Oh, there's a mallard duck, a male mallard. They're very colorful. Most of the ducks that are here are females, and they're not as colorful. I'm going to turn the camera to the back of the boat because I think today is going to be duck day. So let me figure out where I'm going to put the camera to do that. Let's just turn this camera around the other way. Okay, so now it's out there. And what we'll do, we'll put this seat down. No, that's too risky. That's gonna fall. Let's put this here and see if, let's get rid of this brush. The brush is here for washing, but what we'll do, and while there's no ducks, then it's kind of boring. Okay, so that's that piece of metal there. What we'll do, we'll aim it, so that's there. Okay, I think that's a good angle. I don't like that. That's not giving us a lot of ducks, and then the ducks went away, of course. Just when you think you're going to have some ducks, they decide to head off in a different direction. They say you can't herd cats. I don't think you can herd ducks either. Now, what if so I want to make sure we don't lose the phone overboard. So we need to find a place that is yeah, we're seeing a piece of metal at the back of the boat. How can I organize this so that if there are ducks, that we see ducks? How about, should I put it up here? No, that's too risky. That is too risky, but here might work. You know what? I'm going to aim it at this angle, and yesterday we had all kinds of ducks on that side. Let's see if we can just get up high, a little bit higher here, and turn the phone just a little bit more. And just adjust the phone a little bit more so that we don't invade too many people's privacy here. And let's see if the ducks come back. They went away because I came to the back of the boat. But I'm going to get back into my little corner here and see if I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ducks further upstream. They've gone away because we're making too much noise, I guess. Let's open this table so that I can see the chat on my computer. And let's wait for the ducks to come back. So what are we seeing? We're seeing a bunch of water. So I don't know, it's a little bit on the boring side, but Charlene, thank you for coming by. Gorgeous photo you had on your live this morning, yesterday. It's all a blur, but thank everybody for coming by. We're getting a few big cruisers starting up, and I love that big diesel sound. It might drown me out a little bit after a while, but outside of that, Rems National, I didn't see you coming in. Thank you for coming by. I do appreciate that. Appreciate every visit. It's I love it when people come by. You know, you don't get out sailing with too many crowds at a time because it's a little bit hard to organize. But this is much easier, and I see the ducks coming back. So let's see. The chief mother duck is leading the charge. I'm going to have another sip of water here. You know, it'd be so easy to cheat and and feed them, and then they'll come. But that's not fair to the ducks, because they say that if people feed the ducks unnatural things, then they lose their instinct of how to go fishing and catch their own stuff. Okay, so there should be a duck coming in to sight now. So this is a female mallard. I don't see him yet on the computer. I see him in front of me, and he's coming out to the back of the boat. So I guess we've got a 10-second delay here, and there he is. So it's we don't see the duck. How come that we don't see the duck? Where did that duck go? Quack, quack, quack. Oh, you can't control the ducks. Starting to smell a little bit of diesel fuel here, but that's okay. It all blows away. I don't know which boat's leaving here. I guess it's not the ones that are right beside us, so we're not going to see big boats heading out. I think today is duck day. Let's see where those duckies are. Here, ducky, ducky, here, ducky. How come we don't get any duckies? If we don't get some ducks in a minute, we'll just flick it back to something more interesting. So yeah, we're going to wash the boat. And that never happened. But the bilge pump, for people that came down by for the bilge pump repairing session, the bilge pump works after the sail. So the sail was only a couple of hours, I guess, maybe 3 hours. From here, the east end of Toronto by Leslie Spit, out to the Center Island Pier and back. The wind was from the south, 7 knots. So it was one tack, a port tack out, and a starboard tack back, and that was very pleasant. There was enough wind to be moving at a nice rate. There was no waves. It was very quiet from that point of view, and I'm going to move the camera back because this is boring. Let's bring this camera back and aim it out where we were before. What are we looking at here? I can't even tell. That's a good angle there. We are looking into other people's boats, but we're also aimed at our own boat, so I don't feel guilty about that. About these solar lights, we tried them out last time and they didn't do a lot of good. We'll see if they give us a good bit of light in the cockpit when the sun goes down. So the sun is 6 fingers above the horizon, so an hour and a half. I guess it's pretty close to 9. Just when I said the ducks weren't here, there's a duck hiding under the boat. Two ducks hiding under the boat, and we should see them in a few minutes. We also had this huge black hornet. So I don't know what the difference is between a wasp and a hornet. And yeah, look at, now the ducks are back. How come we didn't see the ducks and now the ducks are back? Is it worth us trying to reorient the camera? No, because by the time that we do that, they'll have gone in a different direction. But let's move it just a little bit Move it over there, put that there, and see if that gives us ducks as well as, okay, that may give us ducks as well as boat stuff. I can't remember where it was. Oh yes, hornets. So there's these big black things. Now they say wasp waisted. So wasp waisted means real tiny waist, big butt, and a big body. And but wasps, as I know them, are little yellow. I think we even call them yellow jackets here. They look like bees. They do sting. I've been stung by them a few times working on yard projects. But these black hornets, so they're very long. They're about 3 centimeters long, 2 inches. And they build mud nests. So here, we went sailing for the first time yesterday. And didn't notice it, but what they do here is they will build a nest in the sail. So the sail is folded up. We don't see any sails close by in the camera right now, but let's tilt this camera up a hair just to see if we can get a more interesting perspective. So I do want to see if we get some ducks and birds and other interesting things coming by. So what they do is they will build a nest in the fold of the sail, and when you look at it, it's mud, but the mud has like tunnels in it, and I guess the blob of mud will be not the size of a small person's hand, a baby's hand maybe. And every time I see them here on the boat, of course, I'm hoisting the sail and suddenly mud is falling on my head. So it gets broken up by pulling up the sail. Hey, Charlene. And so there's a bunch of them coming after me when I got to the boat this evening, and I'm worried about getting stung. Now, I don't know if they sting people that don't annoy them, but I started swatting at them with another bathing suit. Oh, here we got a red-winged blackbird coming to visit the boat next door. I think we see him. Yeah, you see. If you're very careful, you see him. Oh, he's next to that yellow life buoy that's on the boat to the side. So I've been trying to swat these things, making them go away. And I don't know if that's really been working or not. But I don't want to get stung. I don't really want them making mud pies in my sails. Yeah, red-winged blackbird next door is looking for food. I mean, he's not going to find any there. I don't want him to come over here and bother us. But yeah, we've got lots of birds. The red-winged blackbirds here is, did I just see that hornet creature come flying by? Once Upon a City, hey, thank you for coming by. I appreciate that. Haven't seen you in a while. I guess I haven't seen you since you were in WeGo's Live. I don't think well, it might not be true. I thought I saw, no, I can't remember. I thought I saw you somewhere. And wonderful to have you here. When Christine was talking about her trip, she walked by National Yacht Club, which is to the west of downtown. So it's Bathurst and Lakeshore area. And this boat was in there for 30 some years. Not this boat, this boat and its predecessor were there for 30 some years. So that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful location. It's downside. Hey, Hoax, welcome aboard. The problem with where National Yacht Club is that it's gotten very built up. So I joined there 35 years ago, and construction of the condos in that area had just started. So getting there was wonderful. It was easy to get in and out in the evening, easy to get in and out when they did fireworks in the Benson Hedges fireworks off of Ontario Place. And so we go down, take the kids and watch the fireworks and watch the air show. But in the last 10 years, it's gotten so built up. It's taken 2 to 3 hours to get home from there. And where we are now is at the east end of the city, at Leslie Spit. And the weather is, the traffic is wonderful. It's 15 minutes to get home. Hey, Lucy Warrens, welcome aboard. Thank you for dropping by. I think I saw your last live. You're looking good. Always a pleasure to have people that I've met virtually and people that I haven't met come by and say hello and listen to me ramble for a while. So so we didn't wash the boat, but we still have to do that. The ducks are heading into camera view now. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And part of the reason for washing it is that when the bilge pump was dead, I got water in the bilge in a rainstorm. So somewhere there's a leak. And I came down, I fixed the bilge pump, and the problem now is that I don't see the bilge leak anymore. So I was just going to start running water on the deck in various places and check to see where it was coming in. Yeah, if you know Leslie Spit, so it's at the intersection of Unwin Avenue and Leslie, so it's right at the top of Tommy Thompson. And if you ride down the bike path on Leslie Spit, or even more if you walk, there's a walking trail through the woods and the weeds along the water on the west side. Then you see this. And I remember years before this boat was here. I remember years going along the Spit and bike riding with the kids on the Spit when they were young, and I'd look at all these boats and say, "That's such a wonderful place." But I had a good place downtown, so there's no thought of changing until the traffic became a disaster. And so this place is a little rustic, a little bit rural downtown. It's industrial. It's the remains of industrial area, and I love it. I love I grew up in a rural area, so I love the non-congested nature of where we are. And you know, one thing I was really worried that there'd be a lot of mosquitoes because there's a lot of water here, and there's a lot of standing water on Leslie Spit in the park. And I figured we'd have more mosquitoes than we knew what to do with, and that hasn't been the case. So I've been amazed at how nice it is. I think one night I was here late, and I did feel like I was starting to get eaten by mosquitoes, but I might have been imagining it as well. So. You know, the other thing that's different this year is there aren't a lot of spiders. Usually, like the boat the camera's looking out at the rail, the stern rail. Usually, overnight, all those areas would get full of cobwebs, and they'd be awful. You sit there and suddenly you're covered in cobwebs, or you stick your hand out, or even worse, you stick your face in the back and you get covered in cobwebs. We haven't had a lot of cobwebs this year. So either the spiders have changed the way they operate, or the spiders had died out, but winter wasn't very cold last year, so it can't be from too cold a winter. So we got a bit of a wave from some boat going by somewhere. I'm not sure where. Maybe in the next dock. So I can feel the boat rocking a bit. Camera should pick it up eventually. But yeah, so the mosquitoes here, for whatever reason, aren't that bad. You know, what I wonder more or worry about more is there's some natural areas here and a big lawn, and I worry about ticks. I'm paranoid about walking through there and picking up ticks. So that's the new thing. I mean, I used to love walking on those little trails along the edge of the water on either side of the spit, and it'd be very rustic and isolated kind of feel, like Georgian Bay kind of feel. Now I'd be afraid to do that for fear of getting attacked by ticks. So there's always something. Anyway, so I didn't wash the boat, so still don't know where the water's coming from. As long as the bilge pump is running, it's not an issue. I mean, this could have been happening for years, because if the pump is pumping it out, every time there's a rainstorm, you get 6 inches of water, then the rain gets pumped out. So it's only when the pump died that even noticed that it's an issue. Yeah, but the other thing I was down here earlier was taking pictures of boat parts, and I do stock photography for a bunch of people, including Adobe. And Adobe says I've been selected. I'm honored to be selected. I'm not sure why they selected me. Maybe they select everybody, or they like some of the stuff that I've done. So I've been selected to provide them with photos to feed their AI machine. And we've talked about AI a few times and where it's going and what it's doing to us. So Adobe, I guess, is building an ethical AI model, image model, because they're paying the photographers for the pictures that I don't know if you can see them flying at the top of the picture now. There's pardon me, I'm coughing my face off here. A whole flock of cormorants just flew overhead. Just to change the subject to yesterday, we had weather warnings on the Weather Channel about heat. It wasn't that hot. It was 28 degrees Fahrenheit, so the 28 is 76, 90, 28 is, 56, 80, let's say 90 degrees. It's not that hot. I guess there's a bit of humidity. But we had a lot of haze. And they said the haze was from the forest fires in the northern Ontario and Manitoba. Now, last year, when we had that, I could smell the sort of the smoky smell in the air. Yesterday, and it was only for one day, and the wind was from the south. So if the wind is from the south, it's not blowing the smoke in from the north. So I think the weather guys got themselves confused a bit. I think it was just a fog based on the lake is still very cold and the air is getting warmer, so you get fog. And at one point, when we started out, we couldn't see the CN Tower from where we are now, and the CN Tower is like 5 miles away. 5, maybe 10 at the most. The CN Tower is really the middle of Toronto, and But by the time we got out into the lake, most of that had dissipated. And then there was that foggy smell. So fog, to me, fog is cold. And even if you don't feel the wetness, you can smell the wetness. So there was an interesting day yesterday and I was going to record it for a YouTube video or for a live, and then the problem was that all you saw was a haze, and decided that wasn't worth the effort. So I probably should have. Now I regret it a little bit, but yeah, had some interesting weather today. Where's the wind coming from? The wind's coming from the west. I guess it's a little bit southwest. And no smoggy smells. Now, when I said this wind is from the south, the wind was from the south, but the upper atmosphere could be from the wind from the north, bringing the smoke down. So I'm not going to argue with the weather guys. They're smarter than I am, and they have better wind instruments. My wind instrument is I stick my finger up and see which way the wind is blowing. That's not totally true. The boat has wind instruments, the direction of the wind and the speed of the wind, and how the angle of the wind is affecting the boat. So there's a lot of there is some technology on here related to wind and weather, because it's a sailboat, right? If there's no wind, sailboats don't go. And it was interesting. Yesterday, I panicked because it was the first sail, so I checked to make sure that the batteries were good, because again, you may have heard that we have a bit of a battery issue in the winter. The two of the batteries had run dry, and instead of producing 12 volts, they're producing 7 volts. And I thought the batteries themselves were dead, but all they needed was a good drink of water, and that solved the battery problem. But they still check the batteries to make sure that, if you're out, you want the motor to start when you're going to come back in. And I'm looking at the gas gauge and saying, okay, do I have enough gas? And this boat uses like no gas. Like every 5 years, put in, I think it's a 25-gallon tank, 50-gallon tank, 25-gallon tank, and fill it up. And that lasts for about 5 years, because it runs half an hour, half an hour a day kind of thing. And I'm looking at the gas gauge, and sitting in an angle. We're going to have a boat coming out in one beautiful boat, wonderful boat. And I'm looking at the gas gauge, and I see the needle is on E, empty. And I'm saying, oh my God, so what happened? Because I bought gas last year. There's no way that I've used it. It's possible that there's a leak, but if there was a leak, then I would, and I'd be able to smell it. And there hasn't been any of that. And later I'm looking and saying, okay, that's not the E, that's the F. So the thing different between E and an F, of course, is the little line on the bottom. And there's a bit of dirt or spider crud on the gauge that was made it hard to see what I was looking at. So we're okay there. So we had good starting power. We had good fuel. The fuel filter should be changed. I have a spare, but the problem is that makes a mess. Maybe it'll get changed in the summer. It needs an oil change later on, but the oil's not critical. From the amount that it runs, the oil got changed 3 years ago. And the only other problem that we had was there's a speedometer on the boat that tells you how fast you're going. And the way it works is there's a little propeller wheel stuck to the bottom of the boat, and it turns and sends a signal to the computer to tell it how fast it's going. And when there's seaweed in there, then it doesn't turn. So I thought I had cleaned it all out, but obviously I didn't, and so I couldn't tell how fast the boat was actually moving. There's my friend, the big black hornety thing. He's gone. I'm sure if I try to swat him, he's going to bite me. And so I couldn't tell how fast we were going. So the wind was 7 knots. It was showing apparent wind, which is a combination of the speed of the boat and the actual wind itself, of 7.5 knots. The wind was off to the side on a broad reach, so it was a good fast angle. But I have a thing on my phone called SailDroid, and what it does is it uses the phone's GPS to calculate how fast you're going, because it plots GPS points and calculates the time between points, pardon me, to tell you how fast you're going. And at top speed, we're doing 3.8 knots, which for 7 knots of wind isn't bad for this boat. It's got a very small jib. We were passed by a smaller boat, but with a big Genoa, so that caught the wind. And then to add insult to injury, so this is a hunter, and then another bigger hunter comes by and calls out and says, "Say hi, hunter." And then he said, "Yeah, we had our beautiful sail. We have the spinnaker up, but we don't own a spinnaker, so we can't sail with a spinnaker. The spinnaker is the big colored sail that people have when the wind is right behind them." And but yeah, it was a beautiful sail. We're going to have a plane flying overhead. Oh, the ducks are fighting. One duck just chased another duck. And I couldn't tell why. Were the duck number 2 steal duck number 1 supper? They're finding stuff because they're putting their heads in the water. I think ducks eat seaweed, so the seaweed is growing. It's getting warmer, and it's hasn't reached the top of the water, but it's probably about a foot below the water in some places. And I guess the ducks stick their heads in and find what they're looking for. I keep saying I hope that the swans come by again. We've had the swans visit a few times. They live on the other side of the channel by the Leslie Spit. Yeah, Once Upon a City does wonderful walks in a lot of places that I know, and in some places, you still learn something when somebody's walking through, and you see things, and if your objective is to talk about the area as you're walking, then she's got some really nice walks. I almost always learn something. People, again, go back to We Go tours, walking along the waterfront at Ontario Place. I mean, I've done that walk many times, but you notice things that I just never thought of. So it's a neat entertainment to watch people walking. Oh, that red-winged blackbird is back at the boat next door, and he's being noisy. He's being noisy. Hey.
We're just thinking his boat looks a little wonky.
Whose?
So,
Do you think it's okay?
you think it's okay?
Next door?
Yeah.
usually he's so centered. He's not. It's far back. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. But
No, I think it's okay.
I think he's okay. I mean, I haven't seen him in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
oh no, he was
Oh,
here on the
you-
weekend.
He was, yeah, because usually he has his sail covered as well.
Oh.
But he's gone into his solar cell thing, so maybe that's a whole new thing there. No, I haven't seen him in a little while. I think the boat is okay. I was looking at his lines when I came in, and you know, if it was me, I'd have spring lines and a bunch of other things. But I'm not going to tell other people how to sail their boats. Well, I do, but I'll tell them that you checked up on them. So I had visitors checking out the neighbor's boat. Yeah, he looks okay to me. The guy bought the boat last year, and he said he'd never sailed, and he just decided he's going to buy himself a boat, and he's really gung ho. This year I haven't seen him out that many times, but at the end of last year, like, he was out. It was freezing already, and he was still sailing, trying to get his money's worth out of his boat and out of his marina. So it's I mean, I'm sitting, not sailing, I'm just sitting down here watching the world go by and talking about it. As I say, waiting for the swans to come by to see if they're going to fight with the ducks. But I haven't seen any I haven't seen any this year, I guess, really. There's more of them. Yeah, I mean, these two girls were worried about this guy's boat not being tied up properly, and they looked. So that's a wonderful community. The anyway, so I was talking about Adobe and AI. So one of the things that they create these missions that go and say, okay, we want 40 pictures of this, that, and the other thing. And so one of the 40 pictures in their current mission that they've offered is 40 pictures of outdoor things. And they've been doing this for about a year, because I've been involved in the project 2 times already. And this time the frames of reference, the brief, said, well, we don't want gardening tools because we've got enough gardening tools. And for indoor pictures, they don't want kitchen utensils because they've got enough kitchen utensils. So they wanted other stuff. So I figured I would give them boat pictures. And I was out, maybe we'll make a video out of it. That's not a bad idea. Hey, Lucy Warrens. So I figured boat pictures. So what am I going to do with boat pictures? So I've got pictures of life jackets. So what they're doing is they're trying to train their AI model on what various things look like. So if somebody says, draw me a photo of a life jacket on a rubber raft, then hopefully somewhere in their database there'll be a picture of a life jacket, a picture of a rubber raft. And it will No, pardon me. Did I eat a fly? Yeah, we'll do that. So I gave them life jackets. I gave them a flare gun. I gave them a life jacket and a flare gun. I gave them a boat hook. I gave them a boat brush. I gave them the captain's hat. I gave them the other sailing hat. Ooh, the sun's starting to shine on me. I gave them boat shoes. I gave them a handheld VHF radio. I gave them binoculars. I gave them ropes. So all in all, I think I've got 20 sets of pictures for Adobe on boat parts, maybe more than 20. And it's nice that Adobe is hiring photographers to build that database. They're not paying a ton of money, but it's I do it because it's photography, and each assignment is a challenge. The more Cormorants flying over. So one a few years ago, I guess it's 2019 in fact. I was at the CNE at the food building for their food extravaganza. Hornet's back, but I think he's on the other side of the boat, so he'll probably stay away. And I took a picture of a sandwich. So it was a really interesting sandwich, like 8 layers of stuff in the middle. And it wasn't even my sandwich. I was walking around with a camera looking for food pictures. And somebody just bought that in the States, in New Jersey, I guess is where it showed up. Just bought that picture of a sandwich. And it's always trying to figure out who's using them and what are they using them for. So some things you can tell. Ooh, my fingers is sore. Arthritis, or did I bang it? And it's interesting to see where they go, because I had this picture of a Christmas tree on a car that's been very popular over the years. And then last year it ended up on Apple Music, on Spotify, because it was used by a band as the cover photo for their Christmas album. So, I mean, I got nothing out of it except the few dollars, I guess, that the band paid, or the record label paid for it the first time around. But it's still interesting to see where it ends up. Will that happen again? You never know. The boat pictures, some of them have done well. I mean, there's pictures of Toronto, if Once Upon a City is still here. There's pictures of Toronto, of Cherry Beach, and the boat clubs at Cherry Beach. So there's boats sailing around with CN Tower in the background. So a nice touristy picture. That has been used many times. Some by local websites like BlogTO, and some I see ending up in India and Russia. So travel places using them for the city of Toronto. Not sure what other boat parts. Oh yeah, so one that was interesting is the boat that we had behind us is a Chris Craft, and Chris Craft is a famous boat brand that's been around for years and years and years. And there's some really old ones here. And in the 50s, they had a line of boats called the Chris Craft Commander, and a big imposing boat, but it had these gold, the letter C, on the bow, so C for Chris Craft Commander. And that's been picked up by boat magazines. Pictures of boat lights have been picked up by boating magazines. I had expected more from the boat world. Food pictures do well. I took thousands of pictures for Uber, and some of them have become stock photos, and some of them have done well. I have pictures of Filipino food picked up by people in the Philippines. I have pictures of, last week there was fried rice picked up by somebody in China. I have many pictures of Jamaican patties, and I see them because Shutterstock tells you what country pictures were bought in. Adobe doesn't, but Shutterstock tells you. So I see many pictures of Jamaican patties being picked up by people in Jamaica. They've got Jamaican patties right next door, but they use my pictures. I was talking to a guy that publishes a Caribbean newspaper here in Toronto, the Caribbean Camera, and he's used some of my pictures and some of his stuff, but I think he's a Trinidadian, and I have pictures of Trinidadian doubles that have been picked up by places in Trinidad. So it's an interesting world. It's as widespread when I look at the map of where people have bought pictures. It's as widespread as you would see for your YouTube audience. I have subscribers in across the States. I have subscribers in Europe. I have subscribers in I don't think there's any in the Middle East. But then as you get into the Philippines and Malaysia, India, you get a bunch of subscribers there. So you meet people that you wouldn't meet, or if meeting is you intersect with people that you wouldn't otherwise through technology. I've taken pictures of embassies in Ottawa, and most of them have been picked up by the countries that they belong to. And you always wonder, why can't you just get the picture from the embassy directly? But they don't, and I'm happy because it helps pay to keep the boat afloat. But I haven't done a lot of cooking recently. I'm not 100% sure why. Burned out. Got to come up with a bunch of good ideas for the next week. Shrimp pasta. I think we'll do a couple of shrimp pastas because I love the taste of shrimp. I mean, they're not 100% boat food, because how do you keep the shrimp if you don't have a fridge? Although this fridge on this boat would probably keep them for long enough from the time you buy them until you eat them. I got into a discussion with Arizona Jake. I don't see him here today. I can't remember when he was in my live. So he's the guy that does exercise videos. Wonderful chats, nice looking guy. And we were talking about cheeseburgers. And Jimmy Buffett, who is the Sailors songwriter, wrote Cheeseburger in Paradise. And it got about talking about cheeseburgers. So the thought is, we'll do cheeseburgers on the boat, but I got to do something that's a little bit unique. And I think what the plan is, when I was talking to Arizona Jake online, was that we do one cheeseburger with mango slices. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time thinking about like what flavor do we want the meat to be. But it would be it would have mango slices on it, so a sort of a sweet flavor. Maybe a bit of soy sauce to get into a little bit of like a Thai flavor. So that was going to be one. And the other one was going to be avocado, so sort of a California vegan, to the extent that a cheeseburger can be considered to be in the same sentence as anything vegan. But I'm just going to change thoughts here. I'm just looking at a boat across the thing. Another set of pictures I got to do for the Adobe thing on the boat is gas cans, because we've got a couple of gas cans down below for emergencies, and they would make a good photo, easy to take and to feed the AI machine. But so the California burger would have avocado on it. I bought a nice looking avocado that's not too ripe 2 days ago, and I'm just got to think of what other flavor would go with avocado on a burger. So not 100% sure there, because avocado is soft and I guess it's just soft. It doesn't have that. Mango has an actual sweet taste to it. So we'll do an avocado burger, California-based burger. I guess that could have some alfalfa sprouts as well. I hadn't thought of that. So alfalfa sprouts in the mix of the topping on the burger is probably going to be a good idea. But I don't know what other flavor would you put into a California style avocado burger or cheeseburger with avocado. And then I came across the thought, well, what about Mexican? And Jake had said Mexican. Hey LJ, thanks for coming aboard my live. Nice to see you. Always welcome. Stick around. We're just talking about cheeseburgers in paradise. So Jake had suggested a Mexican influence, because he's in Arizona. He said there's a lot of Mexican taste influences there. And so then I'm trying to figure out what's Mexican. I'm not a fan of jalapenos, because I'm not a fan of spicy heat. So that wouldn't be my first thought. It doesn't necessarily have to be what I would like to eat. Maybe jalapenos and avocados. The avocado will offset the taste of the jalapenos. But then I got to thinking about other Mexican flavors that might go good with the avocado. And then I got sidetracked. The and then I'm looking for one more flavor that is unique for sort of a trio of cheeseburgers in paradise. And I haven't come to that yet. Maybe Asian. Maybe I got a jar of hoisin sauce. So hoisin sauce is very sweet, it's soy tasting. Maybe that's the a flavor. Although it's you don't see much when you're making a hoisin sauce burger. You mix it into your meat and then you pour some on the patty. Whereas at least with avocado, you're cutting up the avocado and putting slivers of it on the bun, in the bun. Mango, you're cutting a slice of mango and putting that in the bun. And so I'm looking for one other a burger now. And then just thinking about it now, when I was taking pictures of food for Uber, I was in a bunch of Indian restaurants, and so there's a lot of non-meat varieties of food that are served, and I came across a noodle burger. So basically, it's a noodle, almost like a chow mein noodle, between the bun and other veggies. So if I'm going to do a cheeseburger, then it has to be there. But we could do noodles on top of the patty. And the other thing that comes to mind is chickpeas in sort of a buttery, chickeny kind of sauce. And the chickpeas would be it'd be a little bit hard to keep in the bun. Maybe if you cut them in quarters, then they'd sort of almost make like a relish. Yeah, a chickpea relish. So that sounds kind of interesting as Indian flavor. So we'll see how that turns out. The challenge then, I either have to eat 3 burgers or I have to invite people down to be taste testers. I come across a bunch of mukbang videos. So it's a picture of people eating, usually guys, eating what seem to be huge amounts of food. But they're not competing with anybody. They're just competing with how much food there is. So that's one alternative. Is I then create a mukbang video of the sailor cook feeding his face with what he's just cooked. I guess that's the next week kind of thing. But this week we'll do pasta. Got a plane coming overhead. Porter, no idea where it's going. I guess we could look it up on flight radar, but not going to work that hard to figure that out. The ducks are back. Gonna have to get the power supply for the phone pretty soon to keep the phone from dying. What do we got for minutes? We got a minute. We got 2 fingers before the sun is down. What time is it? It's I can't even see. Sun shining in my eyes. It's almost 8. Yeah, so 8:30. I guess that's sundown is closer to 9 at this point. But I mean, it was hot before, but now it's beautiful. There's a little bit of a breeze blowing through the boat, a little bit of breeze blowing through the back of the boat, and the ducks are back. I'm so tempted to feed those ducks. I'm so tempted to feed myself. I had some O. Henry bars in the car, and they got very soggy from the heat. So I put them in the fridge here. So that should let me just go check something. Be right back. Let's charge this phone. Okay, there we are. Yeah, the ducks are having a great old time. But guaranteed if I turn the camera around, they're going to head off in a different direction. And then we're going to lose them again. So we'll just leave it the way it is. Pardon me. Another plane. The airport's, when I say downtown is 15 minutes away, the airport's right downtown. So Billy Bishop Airport, City Center Airport. And we're right in the flight path for when they're heading east or to the south. Because they've got an east-west runway, so it's basically the continuation of the runway for all practical purposes. Oh, pardon me. Starting to get that evening gold reflection off some of the boats. We don't actually get a good sunset here because of the angle of the sun. I thought we were actually facing east-west, but I guess we're a little bit to the facing south. And all we get for sunset here is the sun going behind the trees. So if we can hear the birds more. And somebody's blaring music on their Sea-Doo, so we'll just cover the microphone a bit. So we want to pick up the Norma Raymond, haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for coming aboard. Nice to see you. Yeah, we'll cover the microphone so we don't get people complaining about copyright music in our thing. If we had a rocket launcher, then we would take out that Sea-Doo. Well, maybe shut it off. We found the off button. Now we're down to just birds. The ducks don't make any noise. I mean, you can hear them squiggling around in the water, but you don't hear any noise from ducks. Once in a while we get a cormorant that does make a bit of noise. But you don't hear much. You don't hear much from them. And swans, swans, they're so quiet most of the time. But if you get a whole bunch of them together, then they do start making this sound. It's like a caw kind of a sound. It sounds like it's coming out of the bottom of their throat, and they're either talking to each other or they're just talking in general to the internet. But to say those swans haven't come over here. The ones that I did post a video of in the winter are just on the other side of this piece of land, because there's a gas power plant there, and its outflow, I guess, keeps the water warm. There's be some water cooling in there, because it's situated in an area where there's water on each side of its facility. And in the winter, there's hundreds of birds in this little area that that's the at the outflow of the power plant. And there's a few people that had their boats in the water over the winter, and one of them was moored out there. I'm not sure that it's officially sanctioned by people that officially sanction such things, but it's the boats were there all winter in the area that didn't freeze up. And one of them's gone, and one of them's still there. So I guess he found a free parking for the boat. Here comes a boat into our channel. We'll see if they come down to this end. I don't recognize the boat. There's a sailboat on the across from us. That's not there, but he might have just been visiting. There's a power boat 2 docks over across from us. And then there's another dock where both sides are gone. I guess one is a big power boat, so maybe we'll have company with boats moving, coming by here. No, he's parking. He's backing up. So he's a few docks away to the right. I don't think we're going to see him coming by at all. Haven't seen my friend Willie's hideout coming by yet. Wonderful channel. He's either doing the Arizona countryside or his desert backyard. So it's basically a desert yard with desert plants and a lot of rocks and gravelly kind of things in his backyard. and it's a view that you don't see unless you're in that part of the world, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, parts of the world. There's one duck close by here. Can we see him in the photo? He's, you know how dogs bite themselves looking for their fleas. He's picking at his feathers, trying to clean his tail. I think in the water he'd getting a bath on a regular basis, but I guess he missed a spot and now he's trying to catch up on it. I'm going to have a bite to eat. I'm going to take the microphone off and put it aside so I'm not hearing the crunching sounds. And we're going to have a Rice Krispie square. So this is the last Rice Krispie square from 3 years ago. So there was a Simpsons movie. I think it was a Simpsons movie or episode where they're in some nuclear disaster and they discovered that Twinkies could survive a nuclear disaster. So they all ate Twinkies. So Rice Krispie squares are a little bit like Twinkies from that perspective. Oh, I hear a duck. And I hear a dog.
Where are you? It's like 66 it's your mom. She's like, where's that girl? On my way, Mom. On my bike, on Karen's bike.
Lost my chat. There we are. It's back. Okay, what's going on here? It's beautiful out here.
Well, you know my time. Yeah, everybody else knows how spoiled
I'm just gonna check something. Be right back. I'm gonna try one of my frozen O. Henry bars.
Save me. How much? That's why I have this car. Frozen O. Henry bars. Let's see what they taste like.
Frozen or Henry bars and a Diet Coke. I'm not going to put the microphone on because I don't really want to have all that gulping sound. Yeah, so the sun is just the bright spot on the horizon now, behind the trees. Yeah, so this huge curver boat's coming in. I'm not smart enough to steer that. The way he's doing that is it might have two engines. Probably has thrusters, bow and stern, or at least just stern because he's swinging the stern in. You know, you watch cruise ships docking and you ask yourself, how can they see what they're doing, and how can they just dock this thousands of tons of steel and thousands of people without crunching it into the dock? And people do it, so it's amazing how skilled some people are. Okay, let's see what a frozen granola, frozen Henry bars like. These were in the car for about a month, and of course they melted. I bought them as actually as beach food. Somebody eat on the beach while going for a walk, and they weren't that nice when they were trying to eat them when they're melted. Well, not bad. Sweet, crunchy peanuts. I mean, you dock that thing so smoothly. It's what, a 40 footer maybe? I can barely back up a car without using the backup camera now. I mean, once upon a time we didn't have backup cameras, right? So we knew how to sail drive by the seat of our pants. If you felt a bang, then you know you hit something. But that's not good because things get scratched. Maybe they do put backup cameras on boats. The technology in a car isn't that exciting anymore. Remember when we used to go and buy our own and install them and connect it to the backup lights. There's, I'm looking at a flag there. Winds from the west now. I was on the south yesterday. I don't think we're going to have any more rain for a couple of days. But usually here, when the wind goes to the east, we end up with rain. So frozen honey bar wasn't that bad. It's kind of interesting. have to head out to Mississauga on Friday to get the zipper for the bimini fixed, because the local let's put the microphone back on. The local canvas guy never got around to doing it. I guess he's too busy. So I've headed out to Genco. They're down on the Mississauga waterfront. Dixie and I guess they're Range Road, Rifle Range Road. The industrial area by the waterfront. And they used to be big in selling parts, but now it looks like they're just doing canvas manufacturing. The people can get their parts from Amazon, but you still need a human being to make something, especially custom made or custom fitted or made to order. So it looks like they're basically just doing custom canvas. So while we're waiting for more excitement here, oh, big motorboat's taking out his little motorboat. Checking to scare the ducks. And they should be going by in just a minute. Not sure how much of a delay there is. There he is. Yeah, so he's just heading by. So let me look at these pictures that we took for Adobe's AI. I don't think I can show them on no, I don't have the right cable to plug them into the computer. But let's see what we got here. So we got, okay, so the first one is Captain's Hat and handheld VHF. Next one is handheld VHF and binoculars, although that one looks a bit dark. The next one is boat shoes and what? Can't even tell what that is. No, binoculars. Binoculars and VHF radio. And the next one is, so the same thing, binoculars and VHF radio. And this one is Captain's Hat and is that binoculars? Yeah, Captain's Hat and binoculars in a different position. Then we got Captain's Hat and boat shoes. And then we got VHF and binoculars and a rope. Then we got boat hook and boat brush. Some of these might be too dark, and I have to open them up in Photoshop and see what okay, so that's, then it moved inside. So here we got binoculars and VHF radio again, and hat. Here you got Captain's Hat and sunglasses and a rope. Captain's Hat and binoculars and VHF radio. Hey, Ruby and Jeremy's, welcome aboard. Nice to see you. Let's give you guys a wrench. We don't have a huge audience today, but give you an opportunity to network the people that were in the chat and people that are still to come. Wonderful to have people dropping by or staying a while. Staying a while, of course, is most wonderful. Okay, so here we got Captain's Hat and nothing, and that's it. So that's a good collection of images for Adobe's AI project that we'll upload, and I guess I'd be curious to see if sometime in the future you could ask Adobe's AI to generate an image based on images that I've created and see if you recognize any of the items. The theory is that in the AI generated photos, there is no individual piece of any individual photo. So it'll be interesting to see if you got something unique, how true that is. We're sitting here waiting for the sun to go down, and then we'll see if the solar lights light up enough to create a usable camera image. I told myself that I was going to buy a solar lantern to hang off the overhead in the boat to light up the cockpit for these adventures. And I did not do that. So that's something to check out. That would just hang off the rail at the back, or the rail over the companionway stairs. Yeah, what is this? Stupid finger is sore. The ducks are back. The ducks are back. Ding dong, the ducks are back. We'll see what it's like when it gets darker. The image looks nice on the phone camera here, but I've looked at it afterwards in the live replay, and the quality is pretty bad. We're in Toronto, Lake Ontario. In a marina just in the east end of downtown area. So in downtown Toronto there are, now I got to think about how many marinas there are. Pardon me, it's Outer Harbour. So that's Outer Harbour's at the east end. I guess if we include yacht clubs, there's Ashbridges Bay Yacht Club, which is just, if there wasn't trees I could see it from here. Outer Harbour Marina. Then as we move along, there's no marinas until we hit Marina 4, Marina Pier 4. Then there is Marina Key West. Then there is Alexandra Yacht Club, National Yacht Club. And then as we continue on, there is the Boulevard Club. Then there is Mimico Yacht Club and Etobicoke Yacht Club and Lake Shore Yacht Club. So they're not all marinas. So we're down. Right now I can't see downtown Toronto because there's trees in the way. But if I were to walk out to the road, there's between where I am, I'm like the fifth dock from the edge. Then there's a parking lot. Then there's a road, and if I'm up on that road, then I can see downtown Toronto, especially at night. The lights are lit up beautifully. It's a beautiful. Beautiful area. Yeah, Key West. Well, so this marina, they call themselves Marina Key West, but it's in downtown Toronto. The reason they call themselves Marina Key West is because they are at the west end of downtown Toronto. There's no Florida Key West to do with any of what they're telling me here. They just absconded with the name. It's a nice marina. There's a park there. There's I've never been in a boat, but I've been down to visit people. It's pretty because there's low-rise condos on one side of the road and a lot of trees on one side, and it's pretty quiet. I mean, there's a lot of touristy walk-by traffic there, but it's pretty it's pretty quiet there as well. The things freeze here, so like this marina doesn't have overwintering, but Marina Key West does, and so there's like 10-15 boats there over winter, all shrink wrapped, and I think it'd be damp and uncomfortable, but what do I know about that? But yeah, they decided to call it Marina Key West because it's at the west end of the downtown area. I like Key West. Been there several times as a tourist. Once as a wedding guest. The closer it comes to sailing there, the wedding that we were at in Key West, they had a party on a big catamaran, and it was a nice sunset cruise off of the pier there. And it's interesting, you know, it's Key West. When was this? I think it was in April, May. But it got cold. The after party on shore was in a tent, but it got really cold. And I mean, the girls would go into the hotel pool and steal hot towels to wrap up in. So, but Key West is a nice place. I mean, it's a cutesy. Ernest Hemingway drinking on the dock, chickens running around, kind of tourist attraction if you're there as a tourist. I think it would be neat to be there as a sailor, but that has never happened. The other place I like is Key Largo. Again, never sailed there, but been there several times. And stayed there at various hotels, and I always thought the Key Largo, the Key West is such a name that has all kinds of connotations. And Key Largo, I mean, there's the Humphrey Bogart movie, I think it was called Key Largo, that was that was an interesting story at the time that was told. I like that movie. I think it's the first time I had either alligator or crocodile meat on an outdoor patio, if I can remember correctly. That was kind of cool. I would go back. Probably not going to happen in the very near future, but yeah, I like that road. You know, that highway that runs from Key Largo to Key West, Oversea Highway, whatever it's called. It's an amazing piece of engineering. Was that in a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? Um, but it's a nice drive. I've always been the driver. I've never been a passenger. So when you're the driver, you concentrate on different things than when you're the passenger. So you guys are sailing down here. So you're in Tennessee now. I can't relate Tennessee to Key West. Does Tennessee go down to the water, to the Gulf of America or Gulf of Mexico or whatever we're calling it this week? Yeah, I can't visualize it without looking at a map, and I can't look at a map while we're without a map I can't visualize what's related to what down there. But it'll be nice. In November, you're sort of at the end of hurricane season, so I'm not going to get blown away. What kind of boat do you guys in? I looked at your channel really quickly, but not enough to remember anything. It's a way of making memories. It's a way of making memories. Spent a lot of time in Fort Lauderdale, and love sitting down by the water and watching boats go by, work boats and party boats and private boats and boats of all kinds. Hey, Izzy Reels, thank you for coming aboard. Nice to see you. We were just talking about sailing in Tennessee. I've never done that, but Ruby and Jeremy are talking about going to Key West. So that, to me, that would be a nice place to go sailing. I've been to Key West, partied there. It's an interesting party environment. I can't conceive of it as a live-work environment because I've only ever been there to party. But yeah, there's a lot of nice places to sail down there. The thing that you have over here is we have winter. So basically the boat goes in the water in May and comes out of the water in October. So that's April, May, June, July, August, September, October-ish. So that's 7 or 8 months of usable boat weather. If you got the boat all year long, then it's a totally different kind of thing, because the fun never stops, the party never stops. Yeah, no, I would like that. I mean, it's not going to happen. Happy up here. I know people that have bought boats in Florida and moved them up here. There was a business at one point for a guy that he would buy older boats, spend a bit of time fixing them up. And I guess at the time there was such a glut of boats for sale. Oh, you work as a cook? Wow, I appreciate that. That's neat. That's neat. I don't work as a cook. I've worked as a baker. I've worked as a fast food cook. I've worked as a food photographer. And I've never worked as a sailor. If I ever got paid to be a sailor, I've been paid to make music videos on a boat, my boat. That doesn't really count, right? It's all a labor of love. It's interesting. I lived in Hamilton for a while as a kid, and Hamilton has a big industrial port. And one of my jobs was this ice cream bicycle salesman. You know, you ride around a bicycle and sell ice cream on the street. And one week, I guess, or at one point, I got assigned the port. And I remember, and that was before 9/11, when now we've got MARSEC and the marine security levels, and everything's gated and locked off. At that time, I could ride my ice cream bicycle right down to the water's edge. And I remember there's a freighter tied up there, and the guys in the freighter saw me, and they wanted ice cream. It was a hot summer day, right? This was all a summer job. And so they had a bucket, and they put their money in a bucket, and I took the money and put the ice cream in a bucket, and everybody was happy. But it was sort of an interesting environment, because at that point there was no security, and you could walk up to the water's edge and touch the boats. We still do that here in Toronto in some areas. There's not a lot of industrial marine activity here, but there's a sugar factory right downtown, and it gets a boat a week from the Caribbean, delivering raw sugar cane. And that is you can't touch those boats, but it's 100 feet away. There's other boats tie up when we get 2 sugar boats at the same time, because they got out of schedule. They'll tie up in another dock. It's right there, so it's right in the open. I've got friends that run tugboats in Goderich. And so I've been out on their tugboats, but more for something to do. And again, one of the reasons for doing that was to shoot a music video. So we're taking shots of this guy sitting on the front of the tugboat and playing guitar, and trying to synchronize the music afterwards. So it's kind of neat. Did that in a Great Lakes freighter as well. He was up in the bridge, and I guess when you have friends that own tugboats, then you get to go up in the bridges of freighters. And it was kind of interesting, just to see that. My role was basically start the camera and record the singing, and hope that we're going to end up with a few seconds of good pieces to be edited together for this music video. And it's still out on YouTube somewhere. If you search for Great Lakes Ships, or Dave McAdam, MACADAM. I should get his link. He those videos are still floating around now. They were recorded with standard definition TV cameras, so the quality compared to today isn't that great. It's not HD. It's not 4K. It's what the technology was at the time, and there was a message behind what he was singing about. He was singing about the industrial and marine. Industrial maritime life on the Great Lakes, on the Great Lakes ships, and on the tugboats, and sort of the work boats. So it's the work. But I do remember once went down to the Detroit River to watch the tugboat races. So you figure tugboats are big and slow, but amongst the tugboat people, they have tugboat races. And I'm sitting recording some of the stuff again for clips for music videos. And it was kind of interesting. The tugboat people, it's a whole, it's like the tow truck people, but maybe a little bit friendlier. Yeah, Michigan. So I've only been in Detroit twice in my life. Um, I mean, I was working in on the Windsor side, and went over for dinner. Yeah, we don't. The tugboat races never made a video clip that went anywhere, and I still have the footage somewhere. But yeah, search for Great Lakes ships, and that's a bit of the music video there. I think what I'll do is I'll put them in a playlist on my thing. I would do that on my computer because I can't figure out how to do that on a phone. So there is some interesting stuff that sort of comes and goes, and I've always wanted to go cruising on the Queen Elizabeth across the Atlantic. Never been interested in cruising like a Disney cruises or any of those things that sail out of Fort Lauderdale or Miami. But to me, the Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mary, those are real ships that I would do. Will that happen? Don't know for sure, but it's sort of an aspirational kind of boating adventure. I guess if you're out in the ocean, then you see nothing but water for 3 or 4 days. But I think I'd enjoy that anyway. I think I wouldn't pick hurricane season. There's no point in tempting fate. I'm not sure that they'll sail through the Caribbean, through the southern states in hurricane season anyway. I think the people that plan their tours have figured it out. But that would be kind of interesting. So as I was saying earlier, yesterday was the first sail of the season. A few things to fix, and the weather hasn't been that great. But yesterday was really nice. We had a bit of haze. On the radio, they said the haze was caused by the wildfires. To me, it looked like just normal fog. Last year, I could smell the wildfire smoke, but this didn't smell like smoke. It smelled like fog. So fog has got that sort of cold, wet kind of smell. Hey, Dragon King Corso, I didn't see you coming in. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you, dogs and all. I lost track of where we were going here. Oh yeah, sailing. So at good wind, 7-8 knots. That's not a lot. That's 7-8 miles an hour, 15 kilometers. So it's enough to move by. For the first sail, it's not bad because you always wonder about things that you didn't put them together right, and you don't want a surprise that the sail won't go up halfway up. And sailed out to the Center Island Pier, so that's halfway across downtown Toronto. And I'd wanted to sail up to the Leslie Spit Light, but misjudged the tack, and I didn't feel like tacking twice. So we couldn't reach that, so it ended up being a 2-tack, 1 tack out, 1 tack back. Kind of a sail. I guess the other place I sailed in the Georgian Bay, not in the Lake Michigan is down by Lake what the heck, Huron? No, Superior. Yeah, Lake Huron goes down to Michigan. Never been in there, but sailed in the Georgian Bay on other people's boats. It was it was a nice experience. I mean, I'm a Torontonian, so I'm quite happy with the Toronto maritime environment. But the scenery is prettier up there, and so it has its own attractiveness. So the sun is set. Let's see what the weather is starting to look like. We'll see if these solar lights come on, but I think they're waiting for the sun to set even more. I'm not sure how it decides that it's going to come on. I'm not going to stay out once it gets past dark because the quality of the video sucks badly, so probably giving up. Okay, so you grew up on Lake Huron, yeah. To me, it's just a body of water on a map. I guess I've been in Chicago on the waterfront, but that was for work, so I don't remember much about it. But I don't know what body of water that is. I guess it's Lake Huron coming down there as well. Yeah, we're hearing more and more birds now. So I wonder how these solar lights come on. They don't seem to be doing anything yet. I think it's dark enough for them to do something. Ah. So they expect to be in total darkness. So if I hide that, okay, so it has to be more. There we are. So now we've got some solar light. Not sure how much good it's going to do from the point of view of lighting up me sitting here on the cockpit. But hey, Soul Stitches, Dorothy. Yeah, we get a few birds. We had ducks earlier, and I tried to point the camera at them, and by the time that caught up, then the ducks had moved on. Of course, they don't ask for what you're doing. But yeah, we're getting a few birds. There's a bunch of swallows here, and a whole bunch of red-winged blackbirds have gone by that are around. The ducks have all gone, and this lot of ducks didn't make a single sound. Okay, so it is Lake Michigan on the Chicago side as well then. Yeah, all I know about it is I was on the waterfront. I can't remember why I was there. I was sent down to be a consultant to look at a computer and report back on it. Can't totally remember what the reason for that trip was. And that would have been many years ago that happened. I've talked about another consulting trip because I did a lot of work, computer work, and a lot of good computer stuff came out of California, out of LA. So I got sent down to LA several times to report on computers for clients, and I fell in love with Marina del Rey. It's huge. It's a wonderful layout. I mean, when you look at it on a map, on Google Map or Google Earth, it's huge to look at, and it's wonderfully laid out. I've followed a few people that have boats down there, a few sailors, on YouTube, and they've gotten some nice trips through the marina itself. The one work trip, I ended up talking to people there that live there, I think this phone is asking for some power, so let me just take a second to give it a jolt. Yeah, the picture still looks good on the phone, so let me go find the power cord and the charging doohickey. Where are you, charging doohickey? Power cord. And the cord for the phone itself. Let's see if that works. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's lit up. So where is, let's take this charging cord. This charging cord, this power cord, and keep this phone from falling asleep. When it's streaming, I don't see the power indicator on the phone. Okay, so let's see if this USB-C, where's the connectoid on the bottom of this? Because there's the Bluetooth microphone is plugged in there. And the power has to go through the Bluetooth, which I can't see. So let's see what the story is with this thing. There it is, okay. Okay, we don't want this to yank on the phone. Let's plug this thing in here. Okay, so that'll give it some more power. As I say, I have no idea how much juice it has, because it doesn't tell you that when it's we got dog sounds now. You're talking about bird sounds, so now we got dog sounds. The I'm going to switch the camera around. See, is it picking up me? Can't see the chat from here, but let's relax for a few minutes. Then we'll see how much light these solar lights are giving off. They looked pretty bright when I bought them. A little testing thing. But when you're looking at lights in a store, they always seem brighter. Yeah, migraines. There's all kinds of weird things. Like my finger is sore, and it's arthritis. So it'll take a week to go away. Can't pull on the ropes for any stretch of the imagination. But it will it'll go away. Yeah, I've been fortunate not to have migraines of any kind. It's I don't understand what caused them, how people make them go away. But yeah, it's annoying. People get hurt, and then you don't feel like doing anything for the day. And the next day you wake up and say, I just wasted a whole day. There's a boat coming in on the other side. Actually, the boat's for sale. But I don't need another boat. That's interesting. There's a guy that lives on a boat. So they say that a boat is substandard housing unless you're into the 50, 60-foot cruiser boats. So a small boat is substandard housing. And I was made aware of this guy as him being homeless because he's panhandling on the side of the road just to the east of the city, east of downtown. And then it appears that he has lives on a boat. So if you live on a boat, are you homeless? Hard to say. If you live in an RV park, then you're an RVer. If you live in an RV on a city street, are you homeless? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But so this guy, he's panhandling out there, and then I heard that he lives on a boat and that there's docks in the middle of the lake. So he's not paying for the docking, but technically you can drop an anchor anywhere. But he's got to get back and forth to land from time to time to get food, if nothing else, and fuel. So I don't know how he does that. But anyway, so the people that I know out in the East End were talking about this guy, and somebody apparently asked him, like, if you get all this money, are you saving it so you can buy yourself a house? He says, no, I'm saving it so that I can buy myself a bigger boat, which is an interesting perspective on the living on a boat, panhandling and being homeless. And So I'm following this guy on TikTok. I don't think he's on YouTube. And suddenly he's advertising that he's not calling it an Airbnb, but if you want to experience the living on a boat life, he will rent you the boat as an Airbnb. So the ingenuity of pulling this off is fascinating. I've never met the guy. I'm following him on TikTok, and I guess I should see if he's on YouTube as well. Yeah, Ruby, this is a 32. It's the guy we bought it from lived on it part-time. He had it right downtown in Toronto, and he worked in one of the bank towers, and it was his sort of semi-permanent home, an apartment north of the city. And then he got married, and his former girlfriend said, okay, it's either me or the boat, and I guess so he kept her and got rid of the boat. And we took it over. So it's livable. It's got a galley. I've cooked on it. It's got a shower. It doesn't have the amenities of an RV, in that an RV has hookups for sewage and water, and boats this size don't. So the water is self-contained, which is a bit of a pain, and sewage is you drive the boat to a pump out and connect it there, and it sucks out all the gook, and then you're good for as long as, depending on how much business you do. I was watching following a girl. Again, it's just TikTok, although she might be on YouTube as well, the Weird Boat Girl. And so she lives on a narrow boat in the canals of London, which apparently is a thing. And it appears to be treated in the same way as living in an RV in an RV park. It's not treated as a homeless kind of thing. But her toilet arrangement is they have what they call cassette toilets. So I guess they're like camper van toilets, and you take off the sitting part, and the rest is like a self-contained jug, and you take it off to some place where there's a dumping facility. So that's a bit more involved and a bit messier than what we've got here. The RVs in RV parks have the right idea in that they hook up to get water, running water, and sewage gets sucked out to wherever the sewage goes. So it's different nomadic living environments set up in different ways to let people do their things. Yeah, I don't understand how the people in Canada that do live aboard in the winter, where there is no ability to move the boat over to a sewage pump out facility. I'm just going to cover the microphone here so we don't pick up the music off this jet ski. Not sure what it is that's coming in here. Creating a whole mess of noise. But we'll block the sound. Yeah, so people, I guess they're looking for that nomadic lifestyle, and they're happy with it. They're yeah, it's not really for me. Wait for these sea-doos to go away. Hopefully they do go away. The YouTube is finicky about background music. Maybe they've turned it off. I think they discovered that they're in the wrong channel. See where they go. Scaring the ducks. But yeah, so I don't know how the winter guys do their pump outs. Yeah, I've never asked anybody. I mean, there's a guy across the dock here that he lives on his boat here, and in the winter he moves it off to another marina that he says it is a bit cheaper, and but I don't know how he does that in the winter. Yeah, the van is even smaller in terms of living space, and those facilities. Like, how does that get? How do you deal with that? I know a guy. He built a camper van. Now, it was really a cube van that he converted, and he put in a composting toilet that allowed him to. I guess the composting toilet. It has a bin that catches stuff. You put it in a garbage bag and you dump it in wherever one dumps composting kind of stuff. And hopefully the sea-doos are going to go away. If I had a rocket launcher, we'd rocket launch those sea-doos. Can't see. Yeah, but the nomadic life does sound interesting, because you're moving around all the time, and and you're not staying in any one spot for any length of time, and you just keep on moving. I hear or heard that people used to like the Walmart parking lots, but the Walmart is no longer doing parking for RVs. So the CUs are dead. It's a mystery.
Okay, jump on side, jet ski.
Yeah, never a camper. One camping trip. That was enough for me. As a kid, my family were not campers. My dad took me fishing a lot. Fished all around the Great Lakes areas and the rivers and the lake. Oh yeah, I hope the Sea-Doo sinks. Yeah, so it. I remember. Wait for the plane to go by. Yeah, we had a lot of good fish. I mean, we ate the fish. There was no catch and release in this family. It was food, and it'd be mainly panfish, the perch and bass, catfish, smelt, ice fishing, Lake Erie.
Hold on to it.
It
Put it in the compartment, bro. It's gonna get wet. No, it's not.
it's some good fish, and so one of the cooking sessions on the boat, I want to do some catch and cook. I hadn't fished for years, but I bought a small rod, and
Yo, I'm so scared.
we'll see if we can
But I trust Sadi more than Mo.
catch perch. Basically, I'm looking for perch more than anything else, and
What about my phone?
it's
Is it gonna get wet? You sure?
okay. So I'm watching to see if this girl is gonna fall in the water, if she's gonna go for a ride on the back of the Sea-Doo, or not.
Oh my god, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm about to do this.
No, she's not getting on the Sea-Doo. That would have been fun. It would have been fun to see. It.
How do I tighten it? Where?
We'll see what they do. So the light from the solar cells seems to be pretty good. I'm curious what it looks like on a computer. Let's just bring the computer over.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Oh my, I can't believe you guys.
Oh, she's getting on the Sea-Doo. Yeah, so the computer picture isn't bad. Let's see if she falls in.
Sadi?
It's
I trust you. Whoa, that's my phone there.
it's
Okay.
it's another lifestyle, the Sea-Doo lifestyle. Oh, at least she's got a life jacket on, so that's a good sign.
No, I was chilling with the guys and they were drinking.
Are you drunk?
Yalla, Muhammad. Yeah, let's go.
And they're off. Oh well. Everybody's entitled to fun their own way. Used to ride motorcycles. So we've got a few bugs coming out now. So the bugs are starting to come out. So I got to think about how much longer we want to do this. But we've had a few people join us, so we'll keep talking for a while. Not sure where the Sea-Doo people have gone. The problem is Sea-Doo people are like bicycle people. They have no lights. No, they don't seem to get run over because there's not that much traffic in the lake anyway, where we are. But no lights. The girl that got on the back of the other Sea-Doo, there's a long flowing pants on. I'm sure she's going to be wet by the time she gets off, but that's fun. Let people have their fun. Yeah, the video is good. Well, thanks. The closer I get to the solar lights, the better I look. Where's my makeup? I don't know what bird that is. See, at one point I was sort of interested in birds. I was taking bird photos and so on. And I lost interest. So I don't know what bird that is that's going chirp, 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 chirp. I'm sure there's some app somewhere that lets you download the audio for a bird and compare it to a database of birds and compare. But I have no idea what that bird is. I don't know where he is either. Not on another boat, so maybe it's on that there's a tree behind me that's on shore, and maybe he's hanging out in that tree. Now we saw a plane fly over. Yeah, so that's a nice sounding bird. Am I getting eaten here? We'll see. We'll keep going until the mosquitoes get after me. And we still get a bit of a breeze, because sometimes the breeze dies totally. The Sea-Doo guys have gone. No, not sure where they're going. Where their home base is. I don't think they belong here. There is a bunch of Sea-Doos parked here that that basically rent space here. So people in boats. It's on the water. People have kayaks, although they wouldn't keep them here. But people have kayaks, and you try to avoid running them over. They go crunch. What else is there to say? So tomorrow we've got to come up with a cooking recipe, either for the home kitchen or for here. I'm going to try to come down here. I'd like to do something pasta-based. Pasta and shrimp. Why is this thing not catching? The table is jamming back and forth. It's not catching. Oh, there it is. It's caught its there's a little, like almost like a Velcro on Velcro catch that that's locked the steering wheel, so we don't get the rudder banging back and forth if there's waves. Well, there's really no waves in this. Yeah, catching perch, but I don't want to fish in the marina. It is too polluted. Maybe it's not, because I mean the pollution is only from the motors of the boats that are here, and the fish that are here are the same fish that are everywhere. So I always drop a line over the back. That would be my potential catch and cook. But I think I'm going to try to head around this cheeseburger 3 flavors of cheeseburgers, the mango one, the avocado, and I still don't know what the third one's going to be. Mexican, maybe. Hey, Little Red. Nice to see you. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. I was on your live yesterday. I think I saw you this morning. Your cat died. Your cat had passed away. I can't remember. In which case, I'm sorry. It's an amazing world. We're talking to people that we know nothing about, but we still share our thoughts. And oh, there's that mosquito. So those mosquitoes are starting to consider me as lunch. Oh, dog. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. It it's you get attached, and then they're gone. And it's as important as a person, and it's different than a person. So yeah, it's my expression is shit happens, and that mosquito's after me. So we're gonna pull the plug on this relatively soon. I don't have bug spray here. I have bug spray in the car, but then I have to. So we'll just we'll probably pull the plug on in a few minutes. Yeah, you keep on going. It's different, but a friend of mine that I've worked with on video projects for 40 years just had a stroke a month ago, and I didn't hear from him until like a month afterwards. I guess he was out of it a bit. So I went to see him on the weekend, and I'm going to see him again on Thursday. I'm supposed to bring him a sandwich from a sandwich place that we'd have sort of ad hoc meetings at from time to time. And and he seems to be okay. I mean, strokes are bad things in terms of losing your ability to do things and see things and remember things. And he seems to be okay, but they haven't seen him walk yet. And once I knew that he was okay, my first thought was now who's going to work on my cookbook? Or not so much how he's going to work. My first thought was he was going to work on a cookbook with me or for me, and I agreed to do it because he wanted to do the project. That would be my cooking and his doing. And once I knew he was okay, then my thought was, well, what's going to happen to this cookbook project? So it turned from being sympathetic and looking for an answer to becoming partly self-centered. Now, not self-centered to the extent that I wanted to do the cookbook, but he wanted to do it, and so now it had a life of its own. And who's going to do the cookbook? But I think he's okay. He's going to do the cookbook. When I was there, he writes for a paper here in Toronto, and does. I guess he writes for them, yeah. And I've done some photography for his articles. So the publisher of the paper came to visit him. He's in a rehab hospital. He'll be there for another month, which is an interesting concept in itself, a rehab hospital. So he got into talking about other projects that they were working on together and how they were going to make them work for this summer. So people are sort of important parts of other people's lives and complexes and projects, and then when they might not be there, then they, there's a hole. A pet is slightly different in that to you or to me or to us, his only purpose in life, its only purpose in life is to satisfy us. So it's more of a me-centered, me-centered environment than a person that has sort of an independent life, and you just intersect. In the case of the newspaper guy, his articles, and in the case of me, this cookbook thing. Now, we've worked on hundreds of projects. There's a channel called the Canada Art Channel that I think has 250 videos, of which most of them were produced with him or for him, for various artists and artists and writers and singers, various people that we'd worked in over time, and they were basically his projects, and I was the guy with the camera and the computer. So it's interesting how people intersect with each other, and when they might be gone, then you wonder, well, how will he go on, and were those things that important? If the cookbook never happened, I'd miss it, but the world probably doesn't need another cookbook, and I wasn't going to do a cookbook until you suggested it. Now I want to do a cookbook. So anyway, so that's the story. A Canada Art Channel is, I guess again I should put a link to that in my in a playlist. That's probably the best place to put it. It's 40 years worth of artists, writers, some singers, some songwriters, a whole bunch of sculptors, art gallery people. Thanks, Little Red. Don't usually get that profound. I don't usually get that profound. Or that deep and depressing either. Yeah, so it's getting really dark. We do have a little bit of light. The solar light is working well. The overhead lantern would be more brilliant. So I got to stop, and next time I'm at it's an auto parts store, Canadian Tire. Check out their rest of their solar lantern collection. Because once this summer's over, then getting solar lights is going to be hard. Then they get into the Christmas lights, but that's another a different kind of thing than things that will work on a boat. So we'll see what the burger possibilities are. We'll see what the next recipe is, whether it'll be cooked on the boat or cooked at home. Got to think about the fishing, and I'm going to. I know, Lorette, you've just come on board, but I'm going to pull the plug. I will think of what you just said, and your dog, and come check you out. You seem to be live every day, and at different times. So when other things get in the way, then you're still around at some point. I like your channel. It's really nice. For people that haven't seen it, check her out. Listen to her story. It's day in the life, but it's good. I'm going to, having said that, I'm going to just look at the chat on the computer for a second, and see if we can copy some of the settings from this live. Save them before they disappear. And then get out of here before the bugs eat me completely. So thank you for coming. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your thoughts, Little Red, Ruby, everybody else that was here. Let's see if we can push the button. Are you sure you want this to end streaming?